There are moments in life, particularly within our most cherished relationships, when a profound silence descends. It can feel like a heavy cloak, wrapping around your heart, leaving you with a sense of confusion, unease, or even outright pain. Perhaps the vibrant rhythm of conversations has faded to a murmur, or a quiet distance has settled between you and someone vital in your life, a spouse, a family member, a dear friend. In these unsettling times, it is natural to feel a gnawing worry, a question echoing in the quiet chambers of your mind. Why has this happened? What went wrong? You might find yourself wondering if the connection is unraveling, if you've been forgotten, or if the bond you treasured is simply slipping away. It's a human tendency to immediately seek answers, to rush in and fill the void with frantic explanations or desperate pleas for reassurance. But what if this silence, this unsettling quiet, is not a sign of breakage, but rather a profound, intentional design by God? What if it is a sacred space, allowed by the divine architect, not to sever your ties, but to quietly, meticulously strengthen them in ways you might not yet comprehend? This is not a season of abandonment, beloved friend, but a season of divine artistry. God allows this silence not to punish you or to sever vital connections, but to tenderly shape and refine both hearts involved. He uses these still, uncommunicative moments to deepen the very roots of your trust, to cultivate a robust, resilient patience, and to guide both individuals toward a profound maturity in love and understanding. While the discomfort is real, and the uncertainty can be weighty, God knows intimately how to utilize silence as a powerful tool, to strip away the distractions, to sharpen your focus, and to prepare you both for a bond that is infinitely stronger, more resilient, and more deeply rooted in His truth. You are not being forgotten in this season. You are being carefully attended to. God is working quietly behind the scenes, stretching the very fabric of your faith and teaching you how to love in a way that transcends the need for constant words, daily affirmations, or tangible proof. As you navigate through this seemingly barren landscape of silence, you are being invited into a deeper level of trust, to believe that God's unwavering hand is holding the bond together, even when you cannot see every piece fitting into place. This is where faith truly begins to flourish, not in the abundance of sound, but in the profound quietude where His purposes are unveiled. One of the most immediate and profound lessons God imparts in these silent seasons is the spiritual discipline of patience. When the communication slows, when messages go unreturned, or when the comfortable rhythm of interaction ceases, a deep discomfort often arises within us. We live in a world that champions instant gratification, where answers are a click away and connections are expected to be constant. This expectation seeps into our relationships, making us anxious when things don't unfold on our timeline. Yet, the scripture in Romans 12:12 beautifully guides us, rejoicing in hope, patient in tribulation, continuing steadfastly in prayer. You may not recognize it in the immediate ache of the quiet, but this very season of silence is meticulously shaping your patience in ways that no other experience ever could. You are learning the invaluable skill of sitting with unanswered questions, of accepting unreturned calls, and of embracing the stark uncertainty of what comes next, all without collapsing into despair or resentment. Instead of allowing the silence to break your spirit, you are slowly, profoundly allowing it to strengthen your ability to wait with grace, with hope, and with an unwavering trust in God's perfect timing. As you find yourself in this quiet waiting space, the temptation to rush ahead, to demand immediate answers, or to force a resolution can be overwhelming. Yet it is precisely here that God intervenes, gently showing you that not every void needs to be filled instantaneously, and not every question requires an immediate answer. You begin to understand that patience is not merely a passive state of enduring, it is an active, grounded, and faithful commitment to remaining steadfast, even when the outcome remains shrouded in mystery. This season is a sacred stretching exercise, expanding your capacity beyond impatience into a profound, resilient trust in the divine process. God is actively using this period to teach you how to pray with an enduring persistence, rather than giving up when things feel distant, heavy, or utterly silent. You are discovering that consistent, heartfelt prayer becomes the lifeline that keeps you intimately connected to God, even when your emotions are scattered, your thoughts are racing, and your heart feels heavy with doubt. Through this profound spiritual discipline, you are growing into someone who possesses the rare and beautiful ability to wait with genuine grace and unwavering strength, trusting in God's sovereign hand, even when its invisible work is not yet fully manifest. This cultivated patience, born from the crucible of silence, becomes a cornerstone of your character, impacting not only this relationship, but every facet of your life as you learn to rest in the Lord's perfect timing. Second, God profoundly strengthens your trust without the crutch of constant reassurance. The human heart, in its vulnerability, often craves continuous proof of affection, consistent words of affirmation, and daily validation that a relationship is secure. In the silence, when these familiar assurances are withdrawn, a deep-seated fear can arise, a fear that the connection is unraveling, that you are no longer valued, or that you are slowly being forgotten. It is in this void, however, that God steps in, revealing a higher form of trust. The scripture in Psalm 37:5 beautifully instructs us, "Commit your way to the Lord, trust also in Him, and He shall bring it to pass." In this quiet season, God is gently but firmly showing you how to trust without needing daily, explicit reassurance. You are learning the liberation of letting go of the relentless urge to chase after constant confirmation, and instead, to lean into a quiet, unwavering confidence that resides deep within your spirit. Your trust, which may once have been tethered to a steady stream of words or actions, is now being elevated, anchored in a deeper knowing that God Himself is sovereignly holding this entire situation together. You are discovering, through this experience, that true faith does not always arrive with a steady stream of undeniable signs or a comforting abundance of daily reassurances. Sometimes, the most profound strength of your faith is forged in the crucible of stillness and uncertainty. It is in these moments that you choose to trust, even when everything feels quiet and unmoving. By learning to stand firm and steadfast in the silence, you are building a faith that is not easily swayed by the fluctuating ups and downs of human interactions, but rather, a faith that is anchored firmly and immovably in God Himself. This season is a powerful exercise in building spiritual resilience. It teaches you how to rest securely in God's unchanging promises, rather than anxiously scanning the horizon for constant signs or reassurances from people. You are realizing, perhaps for the first time, that God is the steady, unshakable foundation you truly need, and that His perfect timing will orchestrate everything to come together in His divine plan. As you wholeheartedly commit your way to Him, surrendering your anxieties and your need for constant control, you are growing into an individual who trusts deeply, profoundly, and courageously, even when no human voice is speaking into your situation, and the path ahead seems shrouded in mystery. This deep trust, forged in silence, becomes an unshakable pillar for all your relationships. Third, God meticulously builds emotional maturity in both individuals involved in the silent season. The book of James 104 wisely advises, "But let patience have its perfect work, that you may be perfect and complete, lacking nothing." As you confront this extended quiet stretch, you begin to recognize, perhaps with a sense of awe, that God is actively working on your emotional maturity. Gone are the days when every gap in communication might have triggered an immediate panic, an eruption of frustration, or a swift spiral into fear. Instead, you are learning the invaluable art of self-regulation. You are learning to steady your own soul, to breathe deeply through the silence, and to consciously choose to respond with thoughtful consideration rather than immediate, uncontrolled emotional outbursts. You are becoming acutely aware of how to navigate your feelings in a healthy, grounded, and God-honoring way. The silence becomes a classroom where you learn to sit with discomfort without seeking an immediate external fix. God is using this very time to teach you how to manage the inevitable waves of disappointment, the insidious whispers of fear, and the profound ache of loneliness with a newfound maturity, devoid of drama, blame, or manipulative tactics. This period of emotional growth is not merely for your personal benefit. It is fundamentally preparing you for a stronger, more resilient bond. You are learning the critical skill of carrying your own emotions with wisdom and grace, rather than projecting them onto the other person, or demanding they be responsible for your inner state. And it is crucial to remember that God is simultaneously working in the other person's heart, too, shaping them into someone who can face challenges, uncertainty, and silence with their own evolving grace and strength. You are both being prepared for a deeper, more profound connection that is no longer dictated or ruled by fleeting emotions or impulsive reactions. Instead, this future bond will be guided by calm, steady commitment, rooted in a mutual, growing maturity. This season may indeed feel incredibly challenging, even isolating, but it is precisely this crucible that is molding you both into individuals who are truly ready for a lasting, mature love, a love that can withstand the tests of time and the inevitable ebb and flow of life's currents. It's a love built on understanding, self-awareness, and a reliance on God's transforming power, rather than on superficial emotional dependence. Fourth, God prepares the ground so that when conversations return, they carry a profound and sacred meaning. You might not have anticipated this outcome, but the very silence that feels so heavy is, in fact, meticulously setting the stage for conversations that will be richer, deeper, and far more resonant when you finally connect again. The book of Proverbs 16-24 reminds us, "Pleasant words are like a honeycomb, sweetness to the soul and health to the bones." God is allowing this intentional space between you precisely so that when words finally flow, they will be imbued with greater weight, greater sweetness, and greater intentionality. You are learning a timeless truth. Truly meaningful conversations are often born out of seasons of quiet reflection and patient waiting. It is in the periods of stillness that wisdom ripens and understanding deepens. In this time apart, away from the constant noise of everyday chatter, you are being given a precious opportunity to discover new facets of yourself, to gain clarity about your own desires and needs, and to reflect deeply on what truly matters within the context of this specific relationship. This introspection will profoundly shape your future interactions. You are beginning to discern what genuinely holds significance, what unspoken truths you genuinely long to express, and how best to articulate your heart when the time is divinely right. God is using this quiet space to cultivate in you a profound appreciation for each word, an understanding that words possess immense power, the power to heal, to restore, to affirm, and to deepen connection. When they are chosen with care, wisdom, and genuine intention, conversations transform into acts of grace. When you finally come together and speak again, you will instinctively feel the difference. The words will no longer feel rushed, careless, or perfunctory. Instead, they will be imbued with thoughtful deliberation, intentionality, and a nourishing quality that breathes life and health into your bond. God is meticulously preparing your heart to offer kindness, profound truth, and authentic vulnerability, knowing that these will bring life and vitality to your connection, making your relationship stronger, more meaningful, and more resonant than it ever was before the period of silence. It's a divine strategy for deeper communion. Fifth, God uses silence to clear out the myriad distractions that often clutter our lives and our relationships, allowing us to focus on what truly matters. In our fast-paced, information-saturated world, we are constantly bombarded by noise, social media, incessant notifications, endless obligations, and the clamor of opinions from every direction. These distractions can subtly, yet powerfully, pull our attention away from the core of our relationships and, more critically, from our spiritual alignment with God. In a silent season, you may notice a profound stripping away of this very noise, a quietening of the external clamor and the internal busyness that once consumed your energy and focus. Colossians 3:2 exhorts us, "Set your mind on things above, not on things on the earth." God is actively using this time to help you see with crystal clarity what genuinely holds importance in your life and in your relationships, meticulously clearing away the clutter of small frustrations, superficial concerns, and the endless pursuit of transient pleasures. As you are gently nudged to focus your heart more intently on Him, you are learning the profound wisdom of keeping your priorities straight, of discerning what truly has eternal meaning, and of aligning your values with God's unchanging truth. Without the constant communication and the demands of everyday interaction, a sacred space opens up within you. This space allows for deep reflection on whether your primary focus has been on temporary, fleeting matters rather than on the foundational principles of faith, love, and genuine connection. You begin to realize how deceptively easy it was to let countless distractions infiltrate your heart and mind, subtly pulling you away from what is most essential, your relationship with God, and the core values of your human bonds. This season of stillness is a divine intervention, a gentle but firm hand guiding your attention back to God's ultimate purpose for your life and for the specific relationship currently undergoing this quiet transformation. God is tenderly guiding you to lift your eyes above the temporal worries and anxieties that often bog us down, and to fix your gaze on the enduring, eternal realities. You are learning, through this purposeful silence, to set your mind on higher things, trusting implicitly that God is aligning your heart with His divine priorities. This renewed, clarified focus, born from the crucible of silence, will invariably strengthen your relationship in profound ways that the fleeting distractions of the earthly realm never could. It fosters a connection built on substance, purpose, and spiritual depth. Sixth, God uses the quietude to teach you how to love without constant proof or external validation. The world often defines love through overt gestures, constant affirmations, and an endless stream of attention. When these expressions diminish or cease in a silent season, it can feel as though love itself has evaporated. Yet, the divine understanding of love transcends these superficial metrics. 1 Corinthians 13:4-5 is a timeless testament to this. Love suffers long and is kind. Love does not envy. Love does not parade itself, is not puffed up. This season of quiet, therefore, becomes a profound classroom where you are learning to embody a more selfless, patient, and enduring form of love. You are discovering that true, enduring love is not solely about constant attention or daily affirmations, but fundamentally about quiet commitment, unwavering loyalty, and steady kindness, even when these attributes go unseen or unacknowledged by the other person. God is tenderly helping you to see that authentic love is ultimately about what you are willing to give, rather than what you constantly expect to receive. You are beginning to recognize that genuine love possesses an inherent stability, a quiet resilience that allows it to remain steadfast and true, even when it is not always overtly seen or explicitly heard. Instead of anxiously chasing after signs, tangible proofs, or verbal reassurances of affection, you are learning the liberating practice of holding space in your heart for the other person with quiet strength and unwavering faith. God is revealing to you that true love is patient, it is humble, and it is far removed from boastfulness or demanding behavior. It does not seek to manipulate or control, but to selflessly offer. As you diligently practice this elevated, more mature form of love, you will feel a profound internal shift, a tangible growth in grace and spiritual maturity. You are learning to love in a way that truly mirrors God's own boundless, unconditional love, offering enduring patience, steadfast kindness, and unwavering commitment, even when there is no immediate reward, no reciprocal gesture, or no verbal affirmation. This selfless, patient, and unassuming love is precisely the kind of love that endures through every storm, that strengthens bonds over time, and that ultimately reflects the very heart of Christ within your relationships. It is in this silent giving that love finds its deepest expression. Seventh, God allows this period of quiet to test the very strength and authenticity of your connection. When silence descends and familiar comforts are stripped away, it can indeed feel as though your bond is being rigorously tried. And in a very real sense, this is precisely what God is permitting. He is using this quiet, often challenging time to reveal the true nature of your connection, whether it is built on superficial comforts, fleeting emotions, and external dependencies, or whether it possesses the enduring substance of genuine commitment, deep understanding, and unwavering loyalty. 1 Peter 1:7 beautifully explains this process, that the genuineness of your faith, being much more precious than gold that perishes, though it is tested by fire, may be found to praise, honor, and glory at the revelation of Jesus Christ. Applied to your relationships, this silence becomes a refiner's fire, allowing you to see the deeper, inherent strength of your bond, even when it faces significant challenges and lacks constant external nourishment. This season is not designed to break you, but to stretch your faith and your trust to new dimensions, revealing whether you are truly willing to hold on, to persevere, and to remain steadfast even when circumstances are difficult and communication is sparse. God is actively refining the relationship, burning away any shallow, dependent, or inauthentic parts, and in doing so, revealing what is truly valuable, what truly endures, and what is rooted in His divine purpose. You are discovering, through this challenging process, that the strongest, most resilient bonds are those that can courageously withstand the intense heat of testing, yet emerge from the fire not diminished, but shining with an unparalleled clarity and strength. As you prayerfully walk through this divine test, you are gaining a profound new appreciation for the virtues of perseverance, unwavering loyalty, and steadfastness. You are learning that true love is not merely about basking in the ease of sunny days, but profoundly about standing firm, committed, and unyielding in the midst of trials and tribulations. God is meticulously preparing both you and the other person to emerge from this season stronger, more genuine, more refined, and ultimately, ready to bring Him honor and glory through the enduring strength and authenticity of your relationship. This is the testing that purifies, not diminishes. Finally, in the profound stillness of silence, God undertakes a crucial work. He sharpens your listening heart. In our noisy, bustling lives, we are often overwhelmed by countless voices, the opinions of others, the clamor of the media, the ceaseless internal monologue of our own anxieties and desires. This cacophony can drown out the gentle, authoritative voice of God. John 10:27 assures us, "My sheep hear my voice, and I know them, and they follow me." In the quiet, without the constant background noise of human conversations and the distractions of outside opinions, God is meticulously training you to hear His voice with unparalleled clarity. You are learning to tune your spiritual ears to what God is specifically saying to you in this season, about yourself, about the relationship, and about His overarching plan. You are discovering a profound truth. God often speaks in a whisper, and silence, therefore, becomes the essential canvas, the sacred space, for you to hear Him better. Perhaps before this season of quiet, you relied heavily on external voices, or allowed superficial distractions to dictate your path. But now, in the intentional stillness, you are learning to trust the gentle, unmistakable pull of God's guidance within your spirit. You are realizing that God's voice is deeply personal, profoundly intimate, and remarkably clear when you intentionally create the necessary room in your heart and mind to listen. This period of stillness is not a void, it is a spiritual crucible that is sharpening your spiritual discernment, making you acutely aware of His constant presence and His unwavering direction in your life. As you diligently learn to attune yourself to God's leading, to recognize His divine promptings, and to follow His wisdom, you will feel an increasing sense of confidence, peace, and steadfastness, even when human voices are silent and the path ahead seems uncertain. You are growing into someone who knows how to move with God's profound wisdom, rather than being tossed to and fro by emotional reactions, anxieties, or the shifting sands of human opinion. This sharpened, deeply attuned listening heart will not only profoundly bless your current relationship, fostering a connection that is divinely guided, but it will also transform every single area of your life, equipping you to walk in greater wisdom, peace, and discernment in all things. As we conclude this journey through the profound, purposeful quietude, remember that silence is not emptiness in God's economy, it is pregnant with divine intention. It is a time for the Spirit to breathe, for trust to deepen, for patience to ripen, and for love to shed its superficial layers, revealing its enduring, Christ-like core. This quiet season, though challenging, is a testament to God's meticulous care, a demonstration of His loving desire to strengthen your relationships, not just on the surface, but at the very root of your souls. It's a divine invitation to lean into His wisdom, to allow Him to refine you, and to emerge with a bond that is more resilient, more mature, and more profoundly connected to His heart. Embrace these quiet moments, for they are the fertile ground where God is performing His most transformative work. If this message has resonated deeply with your heart, offering comfort, clarity, or a renewed perspective on your own silent seasons, we would be so grateful if you would share your thoughts. Please take a moment to comment below and tell us what is one specific lesson or insight you've gained during a silent season in a relationship, and how did it ultimately strengthen your faith or your connection. Your experience can be a powerful source of encouragement for others navigating similar paths. And if this message has uplifted you, Please consider sharing it with someone you know who might benefit from this perspective on God's purpose in silence. Your simple act of sharing can spread hope and understanding during challenging times. Finally, please like this video and subscribe to Pure Inspirational so you can continue receiving messages that lift your heart, strengthen your faith, and guide you closer to God's truth. Thank you for being a part of this community, where we remind each other that God is always faithfully at work, even in the quietest, most challenging seasons of our lives. May His peace be with you.